Good evening, everyone. And I hope you all are having an absolutely wonderful Monday evening and that your Monday went well. Welcome to the Grace City Opera Theater's Artist Spotlight Series. Tonight we'll be speaking with Chantal Braziel, American soprano, and she is going to talk to us a little bit about the capital campaign running for the restoration of the National Negro Opera House and how you can help and how we can all be a part of restoring this grand opera house to its original luster and also telling us about she will be telling us about its founder, Mary Cardwell Dawson. Also tonight, Chantel is going to tell us a little bit about her career, the things that she has done, how she got into classical music, and what she thinks is most significant about African Americans playing their role in in opera and the classical music genre. Without further ado, I want to introduce our Director of Music and Operations for the Grace City Opera Theater, Miss Emily May Brenneman. She will be facilitating for us this evening and making sure that everything stays on board. So we are so glad that you all are joining us. And please stay tuned at the end of the interview because Miss Yvette Steins will be on board to tell you a little bit about how you can support not only the National African American Opera House, but also how you can support Grace City Opera Theater in the programs that we do so that we can continue bringing beautiful music and spotlight artist interviews to you. Now, I would like to introduce to you all American soprano, Miss Chantal Braziel.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you to Miss Claudia Merrill and the Grace City Opera Theater for having me tonight. Thank you so much. So, I wanted to give you a little bit more information about Mary Cardwell Dawson, Madam Mary Cardwell Dawson, and how she founded her very own opera company, which was called the National Negro Opera Company, that is actually held here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Madame Dawson was a classical singer, she was an entrepreneur, and she was a leader that founded the National Negro Opera Company in 1941. She received her degree in voice and piano at the New York New England Conservatory School of Music, but I also wanted to say that she was the very first and the only African American in her class. And during the time of racism, during the time of segregation and discrimination, she wanted to become this classical opera singer, but due to that time period, she wasn't able to. A lot of doors were shut to many African American singers, classical singers, and it was not impossible, but it was very, very difficult to pursue a career in opera and classical music. That was when she created her own opportunities. Before she founded the National Negro Opera Company, she created her own school of music and choir and recruited many black classical singers in this city, in Pittsburgh and abroad, many voices who would like to study classical music and pursue opera as a career. So during that time, she recruited these many singers. She named her school of music the Mary Cardwell Dawson School of Music, as well as her singers. And with the rest of those singers, she created 500 singers and created her own choir. She was also the president of the National Association of Negro Musicians. So she played a huge part in everything. But during the time that she opened up the National Negro Opera Company, the actual building itself was owned by the Pittsburgh photographer Wookie Harris. And during that time, she founded the opera company with the help of many people who have worked with her, who have worked under her, such as Lillian Avanti, Robert McFerrin Sr. She has really produced many operas that we know now, such as Aida, La Traviata, Il Trovatore, to name a few. So, but just let me clarify, the National Negro Opera Company was used as a rehearsal space here. So, all of the rehearsals for these productions were performed, rehearsed at that space, but also the main performances were performed at the Syrian Mosque in Pittsburgh, which is um, shut down right now, and it's been shut down for years. But that is exactly what happened. The National Negro Opera Company was used to provide African American opera singers and singers in general the opportunity to create their art and to find their voices. In the time the, during racism and discrimination and segregation, where doors were shut to these singers, Madame Dawson created the door. She created her own table by founding her opera company, giving Black singers the hope, the dream to pursue the art because she wanted to do that same thing. When doors were closed to her, that was when she opened that door for not only these singers, but for herself as well. As a matter of fact, a fun fact was through the National Negro Opera Company, Madame Dawson was the first to have a live elephant on stage through her company through the production of Aida. So that way, that that live elephant could match with that setting of the entire opera. So how amazing is that? And this is very significant to today because it is very rare that you hear a Black female opera singer to own her own opera company, which was the first Black independent opera company to ever perform at the Metropolitan Opera. But it wasn't just for Black opera singers. It was for anybody who wanted to pursue that art. And Madame Dawson used the opera company, the actual building itself, to as a space for even singers such as Lena Horne and Cab Calloway to rehearse in that same building in a time where they were not able to live in hotels and visit in the hotels during that time. So she let singers like them visit that space. So is why it is very important, especially now, to preserve the National Negro Opera Company because unfortunately, even though it is a national landmark and even though it has its rich history, it is listed as one of the most endangered places according to the National Trust. So, just the beginning of this year, I have received this information about the Opera House and what I can do to help preserve it. So, along with the support of my colleague, Candice Burgess, she and I created the Opera Challenge, in which we both performed selections and pieces literally outside of the Opera House to honor the legacy of Mary Cardwell Dawson and to raise awareness and fundraising for the Opera House. So, for those who would like to participate in the Opera Challenge, we are asking every artist, classical singers, instrumentalists, those who are pursuing different genres such as jazz and musical theaters, everybody to participate in the Opera Challenge, in which you can post a video of yourself performing any selection of your choice, tag the National Opera House on social media, and explain the significance, the importance of why this opera house needs to continue to stand. It is currently in disarray right now. It needs a lot of work, and it is going to take a lot of programming, a lot of awareness, a lot of fundraising to make it happen. So we are asking everybody to be a part of it. Every artist, every non-artist. For every artist, you can participate in our opera challenge. Post any video of your choice and encourage other opera singers and artists to do the same. And we are also asking for those to contribute at nationaloperahouse.org/donate. And we are accepting any and every contribution. So please let us know. Please spread this beautiful, rich history of the Opera House, because I feel that is exactly what Madame Dawson wanted. That was her mission, that was her dream for the Opera House, to provide a space, to provide opportunity for Black singers and every singer to pursue their art. So please continue to spread the word. Please continue to spread awareness.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we are absolutely going to share this information on our website as well and on our social media platforms so that everybody can get involved, because this is an absolutely worthy cause and an absolutely beautiful, beautiful tribute to Mary Cardwell Dawson. And it absolutely needs to be done. And once again, as I say, with recognition toward our famous African American and African descent, not only classical composers, but our artists and instrumentalists and what have you. And to have a venue of this magnitude reopened and become a cultural center and a place where people can come and rehearse or perform or what have you. I'm just so excited. I can't wait. I'm just excited, excited, excited. So I thank you so much for coming on our channel and talking to us a little bit about it and spreading the word. So now, and I also want to, I did not mention this, at the beginning to our audience, but we want you all to know that Chantal Braziel will also be performing during our March Lenten Healing Music Series, which will be on our YouTube channel on March the 19th. So you will have a chance to hear her glorious voice. Absolutely. So now I just want you to tell us, let our listeners know a little bit about what brought you to classical music. Where did you first, when did you first realize, oh, I love this and I want to be an opera singer?
Well, classical music really didn't start for me until I went off to receive my undergraduate degree at St. Vincent College. I am a native here in Pittsburgh, PA, and I have been singing all of my life, way before I could talk. I grew up singing in the church. I sang solos. I sang in voice lessons in the choir. I received a lot of love, support, and encouragement from people who I have worked with and worked under. I can remember my piano teacher telling me that I could really sing and encouraging my family to put me in voice lessons at an early age because I had perfect pitch. But I didn't know anything about opera until my former voice teacher in college introduced me to a whole new world of opera. I didn't want to pursue it because I didn't know anything about it. But
Mhm.
when she told me to research and look up singers such as Leontine Price, she told me how my voice was similar to hers. And so I looked up Leontine Price. I researched Kathleen Battle. I researched Martina Arroyo, Jesse Norman, all of the Black opera greats. Because what intrigued me the most, that helped me pursue opera, was that someone who looked like me has done it and paved the way for me to do it as well. And when I performed in an oratorio concert during my sophomore year, I put it on social media, since I'm on social media quite often, and I received a lot of recognition for it. Everybody who knew me knew I could sing, but they didn't know that I could sing like that. They didn't know that I could sing operatically. And when I posted that particular piece in the oratorio, everybody was stunned and blown away. So the more I did auditions, the more I researched about Black opera and Leontine Price, the more I loved the art form. And that was when I knew I wanted to become a classical singer. And though it has not been an easy journey, what journeys isn't easy? It has been a rewarding journey because I can tell you the many places that I have performed at. One of them was I had a chance to perform in the ensemble of Porgy and Bess at the Metropolitan Opera. And that has been, it's now Grammy Award winning
Yes.
production. And that has been a memorable, world changing experience for me. And I will always forget that. And the reason why I continue loving this art form is because I love to sing and I want to share it with the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I want other people to know that if I can do it, if singers like Leontine Price can do it,
Oh,
or
yeah.
Simon Estes could do it, then they can too. Anybody can do
Yes.
anything.
Yes. Yes, indeed. So tell us a little bit about your training, though. Like you went to college, and when you began to study music, um, let our listeners know, what does it take to become an opera singer? What kinds of things uh, do would one have to know?
It takes first of all, it takes a lot of research. In order to sing opera, you have to believe that you can do it. You have to believe in your craft. What is required of that is working on your technique and staying consistent at it. Working on rep that is suitable for your voice and rep that you would like to learn and learn how to enjoy it. Every time I go into an audition, I try not to worry about the outcome or any performance. You worry about doing it. You focus on the technique, you focus on the character. It's important to research the whatever work you're working on, research the opera, the art song, the composer, the words behind it. And if it's something that you enjoy, then all of that will happen when you are on the stage. Everybody will see that. So, but it takes a lot of consistency, it takes a lot of practice. You have to have that mindset to know that you are able to do it. And it's not, you can't just practice for one day and say that you're okay with it. You have to continue to do it. You have to continue doing the technique until it is in your mind. You have to continue to research the song and know the song, know the character. If you're way, you become the character, you become
Yes.
whole with whatever you're singing, not just in an opera, but if you're doing concert or recital, become whole
Yes.
with that. Combine what you have learned into what you're singing now on that stage. So whenever I sing in that character in the opera or in a concert, I become one with that. And I learn to enjoy that by remembering all of my technique, breathing in, breathing out, making sure your breath and tone are connected together. So it takes a lot of work, but first and foremost, I learned that you have to believe in what you are capable of doing. Believe in your voice, believe in your talent. There's none, there's only one you. So learn to be whole with you as an artist, as a person, and take all of that with you, not even just in school, but outside of the school.
Yes. Yes. So how many hours do you practice a day? Do you vocalize? What do you do to get your voice ready to engage it in the role or to engage it in the song or to engage it in the oratorio, as it were?
I try to practice an hour, half hour a day. That starts with, of course, doing vocal warm ups, doing um, exercises so that way your voice is ready.
Hmm.
And for me, when I actually learn a piece, I speak it first. I speak the words first. So that
Yeah.
way I'm comfortable singing it.
Yes, because if you can say it, you can sing it.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's so easy. That's exactly
And it's
what singing is. It's like
internalized.
that.
Yes,
It's
yes.
communication.
This
That's
is how we
exactly what
prepare.
it
Yes.
is. So you have to put that into the music. And the more you are okay with speaking it, the more you're okay with singing it. So I learn how to speak it. I learn how to speak it if I have a foreign language such as French or Italian or German. I look up the research in the composer and I think of what I would say as the character or someone who is the main character in the song that you sing. And then I sing it for I sing it on my own at first, and then I add the music to it. I add the accompaniment to it, but I learn the music on the score on the page first.
Hmm.
Very important to do that before adding music to it.
Oh, absolutely. Now, let me ask you, speaking of language, for those persons that would want to sing in a different language. So, I love the Italian music and what have you. How, what tools do you use when you are putting together music in a different language, be it German, be it Italian, be it French, or what have you, in terms of pulling those types of arias together? If you've not seen it before, what techniques or tools, and I called it the toolbox, um, would you suggest or that you use that you put in your toolbox?
My favorite toolbox are, first of all, using the dictionary. If you have an Italian or German dictionary, if you have an app that you can learn about French or Italian, you can
Hmm.
put that in. Or IPA is a great source to get at that information. So, but I'm kind of old fashioned. I try to learn it from the dictionary first, and whatever I
Hmm.
can't understand, that is when I go to the IPA. Just
Okay.
because you have to know the translation word by word to
Yes.
really understand it.
Yes, indeed. Wow, that's amazing. So, for our listeners, if you're thinking about becoming an opera singer, I hope that you're listening closely and taking notes from Chantel. There's quite a bit to it. Let me ask you this. Okay, so we have some toolbox tools already. So, what about I want to be an opera singer? This is someone coming that, is not really familiar with opera. But they want to be an opera singer. They believe they can sing. Um, what for them do they need to know about the discipline, the professionalism, and do I need to take piano lessons? Somebody told me that one time. And why do I need to know what's going on in the orchestra as well as with my role? And why do I need to know more than just what I am singing?
You have to know what everybody is doing around you, especially when you are in the opera. You can learn your piece. Yes, it's important to learn your piece, but also it's important to learn everybody's piece. And opera is just that, it's work. It's a huge work that includes the conductors, that includes the orchestra, that includes the rest of the cast, the rest of the chorus. And especially if you want to be and sing actual lead role, You have to know, an opera is a story, and you have to know the characters around you. You have to know what they say. You have to know how to talk and communicate with them. You have to know how to move around, where to go on and off the stage. So it's important to know, not only learn your piece. If you want to be an opera singer, make sure you learn everybody else's piece as well. For example, I played the Countess in The Marriage of Figaro during my
Yes.
graduate studies at
Yes.
Carnegie Mellon University. And it was easy for me to do because I have rehearsed and learned everybody else's work. So that way I know where to come in. So, in order for you to know where your place is and where to come in, read about your character, read about everybody else's character, and how they have a relationship with what you're playing. So it's important to know that. Be aware of that. And being in an opera gives you the opportunity to network and socialize with other people. You have to be open with that and know how important with it is to be around the certain kind of people who you know will keep you lifted in this industry, because it's not easy. Make sure you have a group of supporters, a group of people that you can trust, that you can ask. If you want to become an opera singer, make sure you have teachers. You work, first of all, if you want to be an opera singer, if you want to just sing period, make sure you work with a teacher that you know you can trust, a teacher that believes in you, pushes you to that potential if you choose to. Make sure it's very important you find a teacher that you have that relationship with, who's there to help you. Have a coach as well that can teach you what you need to do to practice your role, and
Mhm.
get a language instructor. That's also very
Yes.
important because that can help
Yes.
you with your diction. It,
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. That is very, very, very important. Um, let's talk about career now. One that is going to school or continuing to study and is now beginning to start a career in opera. What kinds of recommendations do you give to the person that is just getting out there and just looking to have work? I know now with COVID, of course, it's a real challenge for all of us, but how do you suggest that they keep moving? Because one thing I notice about you, Chantel, is that you are on social media, your platform, you stay out there. You're connected. People know everything you're doing. You don't, I've never seen you like not be out on social media. And of course, that's how I know about you. That's how, I learned about you with regard to that, being on Facebook, Instagram, and all those platforms. And the other thing that you do is, and I think this is kind of um, in disguise, another good way to audition when you don't get an opportunity maybe to go out to a place and audition or what have you. But if people are scrolling through their Facebook pages or Instagram pages, one thing you do, you sing and you make sure that you post yourself on Facebook and that kind of thing. So people know before they pick up the phone to call you. This is, I like that voice, and you have all of your information, so people are able to really get in touch with you. I think that is an amazing way in today's society with technology as it is, an amazing way to begin to network with other people, also begin to have people hear you and to be doing the types of recordings and things that you do. Um, I think that's great. What else can a person do that's getting started, wanting to get their name out there, wanting people to know them, wanting to get that call from the Met, or wanting to get that call from New York City Opera, or wanting to get that call from the Grace City Opera Theater for that matter. But what is your what is your advice?
Well, first of all, if you want to have your own platform on social media, make sure that it's your best work so that people want to hear you, especially during this time where a lot of companies are closed and we can't do in person auditions. So, by putting yourself out there. If you want to put yourself out there, if you want to be heard, make sure it is something that you enjoy. Make sure you network with a lot of opera companies. Research any company or anything that you want to audition to. That's what I've been doing in the meantime. And by doing these resources, by putting yourself out there, especially on social media with your best work, you learn to create your own opportunity. You learn to create your own way of being heard, to create your own way of being your own entrepreneur. Because if you're not going to like your gift, if you're not going to want to pursue your art, who else will? But stay consistent in doing it. Make sure you have the right things, such as the camera, the setting, the place where you want to be to do it, to make sure that you are heard. But it's very important to continue doing it, to continue singing it, continue, I'm sorry, to continue enjoying it. And but
Yeah.
I've learned during this meantime because I didn't realize that the more I put myself out there, the more I was being heard, the more people saw what I was doing. So if you want to do an event, make sure people know about it so that way they know you, that you want to be seen, that you want to be heard. And make sure it's not a video is not just anything. It's your best work because especially on social media, you never know who's looking. You never know who's watching. So research, focus on the companies that you want to audition for, and that will all come to pass for you. But in the meantime, practice for what you want to do.
Mhm. Yes, indeed. And speaking of being an entrepreneur, that leads me into my next question because now that we have COVID and we're not able to go out and perform, many of us, I know I have, my living room has now become a performance space. And I'm setting up scenes in which, because for me, even if I'm just singing an art song or something, it's a scene to me. I make it a scene. I'm talking to someone, or because I'm an opera singer, so I'm definitely always going to be a singing actor.
Oh, yes.
And more and more of us are doing that. Um, and also because we are on Zoom and YouTube and what have you, it's like being on TV. Now you have to pay attention to how do you look and that kind of thing. So many times in my practice, I do the camera and everything before I actually put it up so I can see, how does that look? What can we tweak, or what have you. But it is now becoming, for many of us, um, a business. You're now creating your own corporation because now you are directing, you're producing, and you're distributing. You're making sure that it gets out there in addition to being the performer as well. So that adds a lot of extra variables um, to the work that you're doing because you're working harder on the artist side, but you're also working harder on the business side to make sure that you are that you're getting the business, that maybe you're getting that call. Um, Tell us about how that is for you. What are you finding? What kind of are you getting pushback from people about that, or what are you finding? What has that experience been like for you?
For me, it has never been a problem because I have always done things. I'm the type of person that likes to do things ahead of time before
Hmm.
I actually do it.
Hmm.
So, for example, if I have an online performance, an interview, anything that I want to do, I find the setting ahead of time. I want to
Hmm.
do it in here, I want to do it in my living room, or
Hmm.
I do so many performances and selections at my home church here in Pittsburgh because that is a great venue for me to perform because I love how it's a beautiful church setting and everything is already
Yes.
set up for you. My
Yes.
church has great acoustics that I love singing in. So that was why
Yes.
the couple of times that I have performed, it was always at my church.
Mhm.
So I go to my church, I put my makeup on beforehand, I set
Yes.
everything up like my light, my computer,
Yes.
my phone, whatever I need to make sure everything is set, nothing is in the way. When I went to do an actual audition, on at church or in my home,
Hmm.
I know that I'm ready. I don't have to worry about setting things up because I did it ahead of time because
Yes.
I'm ready to go. I want to focus because as a singer, it's important to focus on singing. So
Yes.
make sure you're doing all of it ahead of time. Make sure you practice it before d- doing any recording or pre recording
Yes.
performances.
Yes.
So that way you're focused on one thing.
Yes.
When I set things up, I focus on that one thing. And when I'm done with that, when I'm sure that everything is set up to my liking, that
Yes.
is when I am set and ready to go.
Yes. Yes. Wow. That's now, I hope you all are taking notes. That is very, very, very good advice, and it makes a lot of sense because it doesn't take your energy from the singing. And that's very important, um, I think. Also, now that's something that we do too. The Gray City Opera Theater performs at one of the historic churches, my family's home church in Detroit, Michigan, and our acoustics are amazing as well. I think that is a wonderful. I mean, it's just a beautiful setting to record. It's a beautiful setting to perform in, and many of our concerts are done there. Also, but what I wanted to ask you, because right now in Detroit, some of the churches you can't really go into them because of COVID. So you're able to still go into your church even with the COVID.
Yes, I
Okay.
am. How that is
Oh, that's
working
good.
is because of COVID, we're only taking very limited people in my church.
Hmm.
It has like whenever because I sing in my church,
Hmm.
all of the services that we've done have been online, have been live, and
Yes.
it's just me, my family, and 4 or 5 people. We are not trying to have like a crowded church, so that way
Right.
everybody's safe and sound. And everything performance I do, if my selection or audition is on a Sunday, I do after church or at home.
Oh, that makes sense. Our churches, at least the Episcopal churches are not open at all. So you can't even go into the services are virtual, but we had been uploading music from pre-recorded settings or whatever, or if we do record, the music is uploaded, everything is online. And at this time in Detroit, there's still, because Detroit was a real hot spot. So we still are having that. So I can't wait until we can actually go into any venue again and be able to do these things.
Mhm.
But now, what I wanted to ask you also, being the professional, is tell us about your career. Do you have anything coming up in the near future or?
As a matter of fact, I do. Virtual, of course.
uh
I am going to be singing in a masterclass this coming Saturday, March 20th at 4 p.m.
Oh,
with the coloratura soprano, Oshila Davis.
okay.
So I am looking forward to that. And also to raise awareness for the National Negro Opera Company, I am singing in a virtual concert through the Black opera organization called the Coalition in African American and the Performing
Yes,
Arts.
yes,
And
yes, yes,
yes,
yes. I saw that. Yes,
yes, and that is going to be the Saturday after next Saturday, after this Saturday,
yes.
March 27th at 7 p.m. They're
Yep.
going to have that performance on their own social media forum. I can post it on my page, but Denise Graves is who
Hmm.
is also
Yes,
supporting this campaign of the
yes,
opera company. She's
yes.
presenting the entire concert because it celebrates
Oh, is she?
Women's.
How wonderful.
So I'm looking forward to that. And that concert will go to fundraising for the entire opera company. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
That will be, oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Yes, I'm
That
excited.
is very good news. And please, I know you will keep us posted so we can post it other the in our upcoming events of some of our artists and what have you. So what else in closing would you like? for our listeners to know about you, for anyone that's interested in studying opera and going forward in this classical genre?
What I would want everybody who wants to pursue anything, music, singing, is to enjoy your journey. Your voice is your voice, your journey is your journey alone. Embrace it, good and bad. And I am a firm believer that any door that opens for you, the door that God opens for you, no
Yes.
man could ever shut. I
Yes.
am a firm believer that I wouldn't be where I am today had it not been for his grace and mercy
Yes.
and the favor that he has bestowed upon my life. And
Yes.
it takes a lot of faith, it takes
Yes.
discipline, and
Yes.
it takes so much love and passion for what you want to do. Embrace all of that. And I can tell you this, it's going to be worth the while.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because our gifts make room for us.
Mhm.
So I want to thank you so much, Chantal, for joining us, and congratulations on your Grammy Award
Thank you.
for Porgy and Bess, which was presented this past year at the Metropolitan Opera. I always say when I see you on Facebook, keep rising, because I just think you're an amazing artist. And I thank you for working with the Gray City Opera Theater. And I look forward to us doing more projects together. So this is absolutely wonderful. Thank you for giving us your time tonight. And I would also like to just invite our audience to stay tuned, because Yvette Steins will be coming on to tell you all about our upcoming events with the Gray City Opera Theater and our programs and services. So, Chantel, I thank you again. You have an absolutely wonderful evening. And thank you all for joining us. And everyone, have a great, blessed, and safe week.
Thank you.
All right. Good night.
Thank you for supporting the Grace City Opera artistic programs. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Grace City Opera. If you would like to support our 501c3 organization, you can donate via Cash App at Grace City Opera. Thank you for your support, and let the music lift you.